In Invincible, after the events of the Viltrumite War, which we've done an entire 30-minute video covering, Mark and Nolan rush to Earth because they fear that the Viltrumites have invaded. However, after arriving, they find everything to be exactly the same as it was before, as Thragg appears in front of them, surprising the father and son duo, telling them that the Viltrumites are most certainly on Earth, and they won't be going anywhere. Mark tries to fight Thragg, but he's just nowhere near ready for that, as Thragg basically tosses him back to his father like a toy, telling the two that the three of them should talk, because if Thragg gets injured here somehow, he can't stop the rest of the Viltrumites on Earth from racing into the ground. This moment right here is their only chance for peace, so the Grand Regent says the three of them should probably have a conversation. As this talk goes on, Thragg tells Mark and Nolan that right now, there are only 37 Pure Blooded Viltrumites left alive, with some of the remaining ones being severely injured to the point where they may not even survive. Regardless of the state they're in, Thragg says 37 Viltrumites is enough to literally tear the Earth in half and kill every living thing on its surface, which would be justice for what Mark, Nolan, and Thaedus did to Planet Viltrum. However, Thragg tells the two of them that he wasn't made Grand Regent of the Viltrumites to seek revenge. He was made their de facto king because he's supposed to lead them into the future, to lead them down the path where they thrive and survive. And looking around him, Thragg realizes that this was a war that the Viltrumites aren't going to survive. So he's come up with a backup plan. Earth now belongs to the Viltrumite Empire, and as Mark tries to protest, Thragg reminds him that even if Mark wants all of them to leave, there's nothing he could do to make them leave. The damage is already done, but Thragg continues. It's here where we see different Viltrumites we've met over the course of the series, like Lucan, who walks down the street in a suit that barely fits him, or Anissa, the Viltrumite everyone hates, sitting in a park getting hit on by some guys. Thragg says that even though they're here, no one from the Earthlings to even Mark will realize they're here, because the Viltrumites plan on settling down here, starting families, and basically replenishing their numbers by mixing with the human population, so that one day there will be thousands of Viltrumites like Mark, but instead they'll be on the side of the Empire. To go along with this, Thragg says that they won't attack Mark and Nolan again, but be very clear, they aren't here to help. If anything happens to Earth, they're gonna mind their business because this isn't their planet, and again, they're trying to keep their presence here a secret. Mark tries his best to go against this. He argues for a moment and starts to panic, saying he can't live here with the threat of them rising up again, but after protesting for a bit, he has a vision of the Viltrumites destroying Earth and just ends up agreeing, as Thragg once again promises no Viltrumite will harm anyone on Earth, and we enter a new era of Invincible. For more content, follow me or subscribe at Vocal Pineapple on all social media.